かない今日は今日のままお前らのせいだお前らのせいだあの記憶もこのせいさ
Oh, is this the credits again? Like we had? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, my opinion, this was much better than Original Judgment. So there is something about this being set around like bullying versus like the medical means to an end type of situation. Sorry, I'm also kind of reading through the voice actors, the English ones. Chris Sabat, Christina V. But yeah, it hits a little harder with this being said at school because like I believe everyone has at least had some sort of experience. It may not have been done to you. It may not have been done to, or you may not have been the one doing it, but everyone kind of has an experience with bullying in school, right? So to see what an extreme consequence is, but it is a consequence to that, kind of like it hits that little bit harder. But the things that so it was a little grindy, right? Some of the side stuff, the school in particular, was a little grindy. Not to the exact point that I felt like, oh, I need to stop this or anything like that. But doing paper, rock, scissors for the first. I do love how these credits are done. It's like, it just kind of shows them chilling out. And then I remember in the last one they had the cat that walked around and they all ran out. But yeah, like everyone's dealt with bullying, so everyone has to me a better connection as opposed to human test subjects for Alzheimer's, which I would assume a lot of people have also had some sort of dealings with Alzheimer's. But it's still that concept of like that one was a little more, that one I also think was a little more out there in terms of story. This one, oh, it's a cat again. This one felt a little more grounded. Obviously there's still, Kawana is kind of out there, but you can also at least like understand him, which I think is a really cool concept with like the Judgment games all have that similar feeling of like, I can kind of understand what they're saying. Obviously they're going to go way more into it. But I feel like this was a very well done game. Like, see, really the only one who we saw that would have been from 7, because this would have came out after 7, was Zhao. I don't think we saw anyone else. And it was just random because like obviously they're in Yokohama, so they got the Lumang. But yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see any more just based on the location where they were. Yeah, I feel like Yagami focused so heavily on the Sawa's sacrifice that it felt like when he was like really getting into other people and like trying to get into their face, it felt like he kind of lost the original plot. Like he's now focused directly on Sawa But like the whole thing with it is like this is two kids who tried to, or who didn't try, I guess, who did jump. One was in a coma and one succeeded. So like those are the kids who, or that's the main story. So like it really should have stayed focused on that, in my opinion. Obviously, like throwing Sawa's death into it like escalated the situation, but it still felt like it kind of like lost the original plot. It's not bad. Like I said, the biggest thing is that it escalated. It didn't like detract. Oh, bye, cat. Oh, Kaito. So as with all these, like all Yakuza games at least, but where does this game sit in terms of in terms of all the other games? So let's pull up the Yakuza games. So Original Judgment sits at 6. It is better than Lost Judgment is better than Judgment. Is it better than The Man Who Erased His Name? It's a good question, because the man who erased his name was really good, especially right at the end when it like Kiryu ugly crying. Oh my god. I will say shit. I actually don't know. I will say that this probably I don't think it breaks. I don't think it beats Kiwami. I do think it beats Gaiden, though. I thought the case was a lot more interesting, at the very least. Boy, yeah, I'm torn whether or not it beats Gaiden or not. Because like right now I'm trying to think of like, okay, how did Gaiden, or what was Gaiden? How did that story play out? Like it's the connecting game between 6 and 7. And there were a lot of really good things with it. I'm going to say Lost Judgment beats Gaiden. So it's going to make it to number 5. I think I'm going to lock in with that. Now, this whole thing with the Kaito files might push it higher, might push it lower. It will still affect it. I just don't know. Like that's kind of like as of right now. So I will say that this was very good. Like I said, it took what Judgment had and kind of added to it. I feel like the connection to a school was really cool because everyone's gone through school. So it can actually like reach more people, in my opinion. I thought adding the snake style was a lot of fun. But then I don't remember if this was DLC or what, but adding the boxing was so much fun, especially when you're fighting single people. I thought they probably could have gotten rid of like half of the school stories, because there were a number of those that just kind of like you did the same thing like 5 times or something like that, and then you're done. It kind of felt like a waste of time. But that said, the dance club was actually really cool, just because like we don't get karaoke in this. Bouncing back and forth between Ijinsho and Kamurocho. I don't know. Towards the end of it, like there was, I understand why that we still had to go back to Kamurocho, because that's where Genda's office is. But there was not a lot to do in Kamurocho, weirdly. Obviously I had done all the side missions in Kamurocho prior, but everything was like in Ijinsho. Yeah. Like I said, this was a very fun game. The Yakuza series, which Judgment included, to get high in this list is going to be very difficult. Like, if you think about this, I mean, just look at the top 10. Like, even 11 is Yakuza 4 for me. And Yakuza 4 is a really good game. But my top 10 is Zero, Kiwami 2, Infinite Wealth. So yeah, like even the most recent game broke top 3. Kiwami, Lost Judgment, Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, Judgment 1, Like a Dragon or Yakuza 7, Ishin, and Yakuza 6. And like 6 was really good. So like to break top 10 says something. To break top 5 says something more. So like, but it is really hard to rank, because so many of the games that I've played, of all of these, 12, 13, and 14, the last 3, are all, I don't want to say bad necessarily. They have some pretty major flaws. So 5 is like excessively long. And like there are parts of it that just like it's just excessively long. 3, also known as Blockuza, the battle mechanic is extremely frustrating. And it's probably the oldest one of the games that I've played. So it looks dated. And then Dead Souls just doesn't run well on a PlayStation. And it's very weird. Like, it came out in the time where the zombie craze was a thing. It was just kind of like, it looked like, or it seems like they went from, we're going to walk down this path of a bunch of things, and then Dead Souls. But yeah, I was teetering between this being 5 and 6, or 5 or 6. 5 would have mean it beat Gaiden. 6 means it would have only beat was it Like a Dragon 7? Whatever. Whichever one it was. But yeah, that was very enjoyable. I'm glad I got to play it. And like I said, we will be doing a Kaito Files playthrough after all is said and done. So for those who are watching this on the Blurry Game Reviews channel, I think I will do another video like this during the credits of Kaito Files, and it will be very isolated to what was experienced in Kaito Files. But for the ranking, if Kaito files are really, really good, it could bump it up a little more, could drop it some more. Who knows?